In 2012, Dean Nancy Bagranoff began a book club among the faculty of the Robbins School of Business. The thought was to stimulate ideas for curricular and pedagogical change, helping faculty find new ways to improve their teaching and to read up on current business and higher education topics.
Well, here at the business school, the Dean's Book Club is to give people a chance to talk about the things that are on their mind.
We're all researchers. We research in our respective disciplines, but reading books about teaching and then coming together to talk about them gives us that same tone of inquiry and research into one of the main parts of our jobs, which is teaching.
Everybody should be reading about teaching. Most of us were trained as scholars and researchers rather than as teachers. The reading process, the discussion process, all of that's valuable.
The reason I joined was to give me a chance to learn from my colleagues and to just have a chance to talk about teaching and the things that we face here as college professors.
Each year, Faculty Book Club members have read and discussed 2 books, inspiring spirited and thoughtful discussions and providing ideas that can be adopted in the classroom.
Anytime that you have conversations with your colleagues, it will lead to further conversations because you simply get to know the people better.
Being a member of the Dean's Book Club makes me a better faculty member and a better teacher in a lot of different ways. One is that I get to know my colleagues better and talk to them about some of these ideas about teaching and classroom management and discussion and things like that.
We all teach different subjects and have different styles. It's really just a dedicated time to think about teaching and how to improve the educational experience.
Make it stick. The Science of Successful Learning provided faculty with great opportunities to incorporate ideas they learned from the book into their classroom.
The issues that the authors raised in that book were the kinds of things that I had always thought about and realized, but really had never verbalized or considered. It really makes you focus on the things that make a difference in your teaching.
Make It Stick book I really enjoyed. The 2 main lessons I took away from that are that we know that if students are left to themselves, they'll study by rereading their notes, and they'll do it at the last minute, they'll cram. And there's all kinds of research in the book that shows that those are the least effective study methods. What students should be doing is they should be spacing out their study over a longer period of time, and they should be doing practice questions.
I think I remember saying that when we met to talk about the book, I'd already implemented some ideas from the book. The biggest one is to actually help the students think about how they learn. They suggest that students learn a lot better when they're forced to struggle with the ideas that they're learning. So instead of taking them and guiding them step by step through a problem and its solution, they struggle with it. They figure out how to come up with the solution on their own, or often in groups in my case.
Every time I would read a page, I would say, there's something I want my students to know.
You don't want to cram. You don't want to spend 4 hours studying the same topic. You want to sort of mix it up. Another one is that frequent retrieval of ideas. It actually helps you retain those ideas a lot better.
One of the quotes from the book was to practice how you play. And I think in Hoyle's class, we did that a lot. His tests, you couldn't get by just by memorizing, that's for sure.
When you learn through repetition, through active engagement with whatever it is that you're studying, you can get a false sense of mastery. Because I have studied this so much, because I have repeated this quiz so much, I know how to do it, but then you can't actually apply it to different situations outside of that context.
In class, we practiced that by being challenged all the time with different questions that you would see in real life, but certainly not in a textbook. They were really difficult questions.
Some of the things that we studied with Professor Hoyle last year, I can still remember them today, and I recall them very easily for classes like auditing, where you already have to pull that knowledge from the intermediate and elementary accounting classes just to apply it to different situations that are not by the rules.
I just simply made all my exams during the semester cumulative. I didn't want students to take the first exam and then think that they could forget that material and just concentrate on the second exam.
The Dean's Book Club and that book in particular have made me realize that teaching is really about helping students learn. So it's about setting up an atmosphere of learning, providing materials that enable them to learn.
What I'm starting to think about now is not how can I be a better teacher, but how can the students be better learners. And I think that's the lesson I got from Make It Stick.
I think the Dean's Book Club really has helped me to think more deeply about teaching. Anytime that happens, you will become a better teacher.